Oh my. As if I wasn't already throwing myself a pity party. This is the way we're looking, but there's no more pity party going on because we have flights booked to Orlando to go home. It's just for a week. I may cry. Oh, screen died. But that's okay. We have flights booked to go home. And we're booking 2 extra days because flights were way cheaper if we flew back on Tuesday. And so Babe's just going to work from there. And I'll get to see my people. Like, office here. It's really trying to hold on, but going home. Literally, I want my child to only have the 10 stuffies she already has, which to me is too much. But she sleeps without 10 stuffies. And yet somehow I can't stop sewing her these little stuffed creatures. So I think I've sewed her like 5. She has a seahorse now. I'm going to do the starfish. She's got a monster and a sloth. And I think one other. But this is what I do to pass my infusion time, especially since the Wi-Fi does not really seem to be working. So this video may or may not make it up. We'll see. But here comes a little starfish to add to her weird little collection I've been making her. So I'm working on my notes to my daughter book. And it says, always buy recycled toilet paper. Wiping your bum with a brand new tree is not cool. Can someone tell me, is recycled toilet paper a thing? Like, is the toilet paper we buy in the stores, is it recycled? I'm confused. Or do I have to find special recycled toilet paper? And what does recycled toilet paper mean? Like toilet paper that's been recycled? Highly not. It would be like paper that's been recycled into toilet paper, right? Can someone explain this to me? I didn't know what note to leave here, so I just went with what? So it's covered up right now because I've been messing with it a little bit because, fun story, Doppler strings that they had a Doppler in my neck, which the Doppler reads whether my skin flap was getting blood flow. Anyways, they had a Doppler in my neck, and when they went to take it out, it was really painful, and they were like, oh, we can just leave the strings in there. Them things came out my neck. I was just sitting at home one day, and I'm like, what is that weird, like, metally feeling thing? Oh, Doppler strings coming out of my neck. So it's, like, kind of exposed, and I've been messing with it. But I have a scar that runs from here all the way up behind my ear. And that is from when they put the flap here, the flap has to have blood flow to stay alive. And so they take an artery out of my, they take an artery. When they did the first surgery, they took the artery from my arm. Second surgery, they took an artery from my leg, my thigh, and then they put that artery, they make the incision here to then push the artery, like, through, like, they did this, they, like, pulled back some of my skin, put an artery up through, and attached it to vessels in the skin flap so that the skin flap wouldn't die, because if there's no blood flow to it, it'll just die, and then you'll have, like, dead skin on your face, and it'll just fall apart. So it has to have a blood supply, and so that's what that scar is for. Was to make sure there was an avenue for them to give me a blood supply. And it is also what will make my third surgery a little more difficult because they've used a lot of the avenues for those vessels, so that'll be a fun thing for them to figure out. Nah. Yes, you are my favorite niece. Michaelin is my favorite niece, and Heidi is my favorite niece, and Isla Tully is my favorite niece. I have so many favorite nieces, it's crazy. But you're each my favorite for different reasons. And you were my favorite because you are so spunky. And you gonna give me some pushback, which you gonna get pushback from me for. But I also like that you stand your ground. And I love all the messages you've been sending me lately. So that those messages are my absolute favorite, and I love them. But yes, you are my favorite niece, along with my other favorite nieces. I love you so much. So I actually had somebody ask on YouTube if they would mind even letting me ask him questions and then relaying his answers, or possibly getting on and doing a video, sharing from a caregiver or spouse's perspective. He's doing okay. He handles stress. He would say well. I would say he keeps things inside a lot. So it's hard to gauge for me. But he's basically kind of one of the, you just take up your mantle and do what you need to do kind of guys. And so he's doing that. But I do think the stress is getting to him just of being not in our home. My parents are being so helpful, but it's also hard, being adults living with your parents. And these weeks are when the stress really comes out of both of us. Right now, my brain is not doing well. Physically, I'm doing the best I have out of all 3 rounds. My mouth, if you can hear the way I'm talking, my mouth, it hurts to open my mouth. My mouth sores are still there, coming back. But I just feel completely uncomfortable. I could take Tylenol, I could take Advil, but I'm not in pain, but I'm just so uncomfortable. My nose is like shredded meat in there because your sinuses all get so dried out. And I think for him, watching me be just not myself and not well, and him wanting to just be able to fix it for me when he knows he can't, is hard on him as my husband. So I think that plays the most into when his stress and anxiety gets high. Even though he'll tell you, I'm not stressed. Babe, you're stressed. But it's okay. Don't watch this. You're stressed. And it's okay to be stressed. This is a very stressful situation. But he handles it with a lot of grace. I texted him this morning that I just still wasn't in a good headspace, and he called me and talked me through it and just said the truth. He said, yeah, this effing sucks. And we shouldn't have to be doing this, but we're doing it. And we're going to get you well, and we're just going to keep taking it a day at a time. And so he does those things for me, but I know that it weighs heavy on him. And so hopefully we will do a actually live Q&A with him, or even like a recorded video where he's answering questions. So yeah, possibly live Q&A, possibly a recorded video with questions that you guys have sent in beforehand that I will ask him and we will answer together. Or maybe both. We'll probably start with the recorded, he does not do on the camera very often, so give them a chance to be on the camera, not live, and then maybe we'll do a live follow-up. I can't tell you when that will be. Probably not until we get home. Just the logistics and the stress and all of that here in Houston is just too much right now. But he had been contemplating it before we realized we were going to have to come to Houston, because we've had people ask. So if you have any questions for him, let me know. Drop them in a comment to this video, and I'll start compiling like a list of things people are wanting to know from a spouse's perspective of someone going through cancer. So yeah. So if I do, it'll be years down the road. I'll give myself a break because what they have to do is you go in, they try and match your skin tone, they start measuring, they start making a prototype, then you go back in, they do more like color matching and tweaking, and I think they said, I can't remember how many appointments they said it was, but it's a lot. And it's a long process. We don't know if insurance will cover it, and if insurance doesn't cover it, it's like $10,000. And if that's the case, then we're definitely not getting one. I don't need a $10,000 eye. I'll just, go the way I am, the way that I am now made to look. So I realized that seemed like an incomplete answer, because it was. Because I don't know what is going on when I try and download, I try and save the video from Instagram so that I can upload it here to share. And for some reason, the video, it records some of it, and then parts get weird, and it won't upload all of it. And I'd already spent so much time trying to get it on here. I almost gave up, but I was like, you know what? Just fill in the blank where the video cut out. So this question, and then the question after that is where the video cut out, and it was either there was no sound, there was no video. It was weird, but I was asked if I would be able to get a prosthetic after all this is over. And there's a possibility, yes, but the bulk would need to go down a lot, because a prosthetic, it won't be a glass eye or anything like that. It will literally be a patch, kind of like this, that gets adhered to my face with glue. But it does need, unlike the patch, which can just kind of sit on top because it's, thin, a prosthetic will have some weight to it. So it needs a spot to sit in, but also then it gets adhered onto my face. So with the bulk like this, probably will not work, and it would just look weird, because it'll be like a bump with an eye over it. And when I was first told that I would lose my eye, my first flap was smaller. One, they thought it would be okay to be smaller, and two, because we didn't know what the radiation was going to do to it, and then it was going to be so impacted by the radiation and cause the hole. So even then, I wasn't sold on the idea of a prosthetic, because in my mind, I was like, you're going to know it's a prosthetic. You're going to know it's not my eye. Yes, from a distance, they look really realistic, and from a distance, I don't think you'd be able to tell, but up close, you'll know that it's not, my eye. And I just kind of want to be comfortable with looking the way I do now, because this is the way I look. A prosthetic, to me, it's not like a prosthetic leg that's going to help me walk. It's just something that is for appearance sake. And honestly, right now, I just don't want to go through the process of more doctor's appointments. I am ready to just kind of move forward and stop having to go to appointment after appointment after appointment. And getting a prosthetic made requires a lot of in-person appointments, because they have to match your face, and they construct it. They put a eye in it, but it's still something I'd have to take on and off every day. And I'm super low maintenance. Even putting these on in the morning, I'm like, I have to take a patch and put it on, which I know it's the smallest thing, but it would be something I'd have to adhere, kind of keep up with, make sure it's staying on, and I don't know. I just never felt like I really needed one. If insurance will cover it, and there's a possibility of getting one, maybe a few years down the road, once I've had a break from appointments, I'll get one made. Especially if we get to the point where the baby girl wants, if she's got an event or something that she wants her mom to look like other moms, that's something we'll discuss with her, because at the same time, I don't want her to, think about people or worry about people's appearance. People look different. There are people that have facial differences that can't get prosthetics. And right now, she looks at me and she goes, Mama flower, and this is what she knows, and she loves it. It's no different for her. I'm still mom, and I know that that'll change a little bit with age, and she realizes that I look different, but we want her to be okay with people looking different. And so if she ever asked for me to get a prosthetic, like I said, we'd have a discussion with her about it, and just see where her heart is, where she's coming from, and where our heart is in it. But yes, it's a possibility if my next flap is less bulky and it can go down. So my next flap will be bigger. It's going to have to go up and cover, I'm assuming, probably over where this bandage is. So I'm not sure what that'll look like in terms of where they'll take it off of my body. Try not to think about that yet, but it'll be bigger this way, but I'm hoping that they can take out a lot of the bulk. Like the bulk should be in the cavity, not out here. So I'm hoping that they can figure that out so that it'll be less bulky, which would give me a better chance of having a prosthetic. But I don't honestly know the answer to that, if it's still 100% that I could get it because of the bulk that is now there, where my flap is. So yeah, I hope that answered that well. But yes, a prosthetic is a possibility. I just don't know if we'll do it. I think the pregnancy caused my cancer. My cancer was there. But I believe, and my doctors are also fairly sure, that the hormones, my hormones going crazy because of pregnancy, caused the cancer to come potentially earlier than it would have come. I would have eventually been in the same space I'm at, right? But the pregnancy could have exacerbated those hormones, causing my cancer to grow at the rapid rate that it did. And so that's just not something that we, from a pregnancy perspective, we don't want to get pregnant again and risk, my hormones doing something to continue to grow more cancer or, all of that. But of course, that does not rule out adoption or fostering. So for those that don't know, this is all just a God thing. Before we got pregnant, we were in the process of opening our homes as foster parents with the full intention of reunification, not adoption. We fully just felt like we could be a safe space for kids, as well as a safe space for families as they are working to reunify. And we were literally doing our home study, and there was a few things left we had to do that we had trips coming up, so we were like postponing getting our home study finalized, and then boom, we get pregnant. So we were like, okay, well, let's hold off. Foster care still wasn't off the table, but we were like, we're pregnant, let's just wait, see what's going on. And I feel like another important question that also had an incomplete answer, because I don't know why the video is doing this, so I probably will not share the Q&As that I do on Instagram. I probably won't share them here anymore because it's just too hard getting everything switched over. But maybe I'll do a Q&A on here at some point, put a Q&A up in my posts, and then try and answer the questions people have. But I did feel like this one was another important one to, give the clear, full picture on. So, like I said, we were almost done with our home study when we were postponing a little bit because of trips, and I just feel like that was God's kind of hand of protection, knowing what was coming. Because yes, we got pregnant, so we were like, well, let's hold off, get settled with the new baby, and then see about opening our home. But then we got cancer, and just the thought of having a foster child in our home and then getting cancer and having to have them placed in a different home, there's already so much trauma that they're going through, being taken out of their parental home, being placed in foster care, and then they get moved around often sometimes, and I just would hate to have been someone that would have had to do that and uproot that child again. And so I think that was God's way of watching out for whoever was going to be placed in our home so that they could have more stability. And also it has, led us to where we are now, and we are still going through our cancer journey, and we have our baby girl. And I never, ever would have thought that I would be an only child parent. I wanted 7 kids at one point. What? one, even if I did not have cancer, I am almost 40. Nope, 7 kids is not an option anymore. Well, I guess by adoption it would be, but when we had her, and I don't know if the cancer plays a part in this, I don't feel like it does. I just felt like once she was here, our little family of 3 felt complete. Like, I always thought, like, a kid needs a sibling, and I hate that she won't have that. But honestly, she has so many cousins and so many sweet friends that I don't feel like she's gonna miss out. And she's kind of, I mean, she's almost 2, so who really knows? But right now, she's handling only childhood well. She's independent. I don't feel like she's like extra clingy because she's an only child. She still plays independently. Yes, sometimes I have to probably jump in more than I would if she had a sibling, but she's also the oldest, so she wouldn't have a sibling at this point anyways. Will I probably need to play with her a little more as she grows? Yes, but I want to play with her. I want to be with her. I want to spend time with her. I want to do all the things with her. And I look at her and I'm just like, we're good. Like, I feel good just having her. And I know that that's not for everyone, but I feel good having an only child. I never thought I would say that. Never. But never say never. Never say never. Never say never. In good ways and in bad. Never say never. Yeah, we're something could always change. God could always change our heart on that. But right now, my heart feels complete with her, and I love our little family of 3. So that's it for, I guess, this video Q&A. Weird little, just another get to know my life, thing. Thanks for joining me now and then on Infusion Day. So, bye everybody.